This next section of Illustrator Lab 4 is understanding artboards. Artboards is another way to say page, and you can manipulate them and change them. So I'm going to go to an Illustrator new file. I like to start with print and change it to inches and create. And if you go to Artboard, you can see that this is a palette Artboards, and it's checked. There's a couple ways to get to this. If you need to change some of your settings, you can go to File, Document Setup, and you could add bleeds, you can change your units, you could add some typographer's quotes instead of inch and foot marks. This would change that. Anything with inch and foot marks is a straight up and down. Typographer's quotes is the curved, what you see here. So you want to have that checked for doing typing. If you have measurements that you want straight up and down, you have to come and uncheck that or use glyphs under type, but we're not focusing on that. You can also go to Edit Artboards here, which is this icon, and you can get it through there by Shift-O. But we're going to use the Artboard palette, and there's some different settings that you can use. So this setting is the 8.5 by 11. You can bring rulers up by Command R. I believe they're in here somewhere. Command R, but I like to have rulers up so that I can see the actual size of something, because it might look really small or large, and then if you have your rulers up, you realize it's not what you imagine. So if you click on this, it's much like the layers. You can double click and you can name it page 1. Let's say you have multiple pages. You can add quite a few pages, and they stack right next to each other. As you can see here, let me zoom out a little bit. You can see how they're right next to each other. Sometimes I like to have a little more space between my pages. So if I go to the hamburger in the Artboards palette, you can rearrange all artboards, and you can have them so they do a Z or up and down. I usually like to do it in a row and go to the right. I like to have 2 inches, and you want to make sure that's checked. So if you had done some work and it's starting to overlap, on the second page, you would want that to go with the artboard. And now I have some breathing room, and this could be called page 2. Just double click and hit enter. What you see here is, so this is page 1, and you can name it whatever you want, but they do it like an internal a numbering system for the pages, but then you can name it, cover, front or back. Let's double click and do front. And then this one is back. So now you know that page 2 is the back of whatever your design is. So if I double click on this, you can see that you can change the name here. You can change the size, and there's all kinds of presets, and even give you some different standard sizes, which is helpful. I don't use them. You can change if it's wide or tall, portrait or landscape. You could add a bunch of stuff. I usually don't, but if you wanted to change the size, let's do 5 by 5. You can see that that page is one size, but page 2 stays as it is, and you can change that to 7 by 5, and it'll automatically, you can see it'll flip it for you if you need to, and you can have these in the same file and different page sizes. You can add a page here, and it'll be whatever your last setting was. You can delete by pushing on the garbage can. And you can move these up and down. You can also click and drag, like the layers. So that's an important part of Illustrator. They didn't always have multiple pages, but if you're doing a flyer or business card and there's a front and back, it's nice to have them together. And if you had different orientations, but it's the same design, you could have also, if you can have them in the same file. You can view, fit artboard in window, so view, you can fit all in window, fit artboard in window. So you can see though it is at 114%. And if you click down here, you can go back to a preset or 100%. That is the actual size. And you have some controls down here as far as, where you're going in the file. It's a little bit of a navigation system. So it's an important part of using Illustrator.